New 15 photos and full official trailer of Squid Game Season 3 is finally here. Most anticipated game of the season is revealed. Frontman's backstory is showcased, and the finalists of the last game are predicted. In this video, shocking details you missed watching the trailer and everything you need to be ready for an upcoming season. But before we dive into new released photos of the third season, let's go through the trailer that this time openly revealed the future of players. The trailer starts with revealing the most awaited new game of the season, the jump rope. Exactly this game was showcased on the main banner of the season. On the banner we can see the floor covered with the flowers pattern, along with two shadows of the robot dolls and the soldier that dragged the dead player. This flowered floor will be the last thing that player will see before death playing in the jump rope, and you will know why just in a moment. Obviously, the new game rules become very cruel. In the trailer we can see two main stars of the game, dolls Gi-hun and Chol-soo. They both stand on the different side of the trailer rails, holding in the hands a rope. In another scene, we can see the players enter the game from the gates. In front of them is a trailway that is located on the big height, where each player has to step one by one to pass the task. The rope in the hands of two dolls is spinning by a special mechanism, as the hands of the dolls stay static. But attentive viewers could notice that not only one rope exists in this game. Along Gi-hun doll, we can see another rope is hanging from the top, so be sure to watch till the end to find out what for this rope is needed. Following the task, players one by one will have to step on the rail tray and jump the rope without failing. The difficulty of the task not only in the jumping over the rope on the narrow way, and be sure to not be hit with the rope and fall down. Player will jump with the face turned out of the traffic light, not knowing when the rope starts to move and when it sharply stops. So in the case of failing the game, the player falls from the big height right on the flower floor, the one we see in the main banner of the season. This type of game is very close to the tug of war or the glass bridge game, as includes a big height and big part of the luck. Comment below who in your opinion won't pass this game and will be eliminated. Yet we know for sure this game will be the one that follows right before the main final game. And more about this just in a minute. Moving forward by trailer, we see how Gi-hun waked up in the player's room, asked the question, why didn't pink soldiers kill him after the failed rebellion? Everyone who took part in the process was killed, except Gi-hun. The reason for him staying alive is not usual for the Squid Game, and that is why the answer can be more obvious than many viewers think. At first we can imagine that Gi-hun stayed alive, because Frontman still did not prove to him his main point and the main idea of the whole season, that people are garbage and deserve to die. During whole season, Gi-hun constantly proved to the Frontman that he has faith in people and they deserve to be forgiven. But perhaps the reason why Gi-hun is still alive is not his dark belief in the purity of people. We remember how in Season 1, meeting with his brother on the cliff, Frontman could not kill him even though he knew that his brother could share all truth about the deadly games. So one of the theories of why Gi-hun keeps staying alive can be the hidden related connection between Gi-hun and In-ho that we are about to discover in Season 3. Shortly after the scene in the trailer, we see how Gi-hun is dragged by the pink soldiers, most likely to his future handcuff placed by the bed. Right after we again see the face of the Frontman with eyes full of tears. It's mostly unlikely that these emotions he experiences are from watching Gi-hun being handcuffed. Seeing so many deaths during leading the deadly games, we can understand that such a situation like Gi-hun losing control would not influence his emotions. So we can predict this is the moment of him watching one of the next games and seeing something that finally could touch his deepest emotions. But please share in the comments what you think he sees on the screen. The next scene shows us the beginning of the first game that will happen in Season 3, and that will include a maze. We already got a glimpse of this game in the previous teasers released by Netflix. And if you want to know what details you have missed watching the teaser, watch other videos on the channel dedicated to this topic. In the current trailer, we see how players in the blue vests enter the main room where their game will be started. We know that all players split into two different teams using a gumball machine, taking a red or blue ball. But what we finally realize is that both teams, despite playing one game, appear in very different situations. All players received boxes before entering the game, and exactly these boxes predict their future in the game. The players who pulled the red ball received a knife in the red box. That is why we see the symbol of the knife in the main room and why we see how excited player 124 with what he sees in the box. The knife is the tool that they can use to ward players in the blue team, and all this to get a key that every player of the blue team received in the blue box. The key is the only possible way to get out of the maze. That is why red players will have to get the key from blue players if they want to pass the game. And of course, having the advantage of a knife with them, they can choose either they kill a player from the blue team to get out from the maze, or they will die on their own. This is also the other reason why player 222 is looking with pain at the red ball, as well as Gi-hun, who picked the last red ball and realized that he has to kill someone in order to pass the game. Now when we know precisely the rules, let's enter inside the game. The fact that we see how many players anticipate the game gives us understanding that this game will take place in the middle or at the end of the first episode of Season 3. Both teams enter the maze from the different sides. This big hole is the beginning point, and it has many tunnels and stairs that lead to the different floors and doors. In the main room for blue players, we can see player 100, 0 for 4 with her whole team, and player 388. In this room appears one more unexpected player who is player 333, but about his role just in a minute. In the next scene, we see how player 0 for 4 is standing with her whole team before the two roads, asking her gods which way to follow. Player 044's role in Season 3 will be essential, as besides seeing her in numerous scenes in the trailer and teasers, we see her on the main banner standing with the main players. Exactly, player 0 for 4 is the mysterious player from the previously released photo of Season 3, where Gi-hun is sitting handcuffed to the bed. This moment we can see in the trailer, as she manages to play with Gi-hun's feelings, showing how to use his angry side that we did not see previously. And this is exactly her fingers painted with the blood, a way for her blue team members. Knowing the conditions of being a blue player, we understand that player 007 will be the first of the team players who will be eliminated in Season 3 during the maze game. About his journey inside the maze game you will find out at the end of this video, but shortly after, we can see the crying face of player 149 and her begging to stop the game. The reason for her hair being a mess now and not tucked into the bun was already highlighted in previous videos on the channel, so to not repeat this fact, let's better focus on this moment. Player 149 is begging someone to stop the game right now. And this message is for the other players, as we can see that the voting process is continuing and players continue to vote to play the game or quit after each next game. At this scene, we can see that there are 3 players who voted to quit the game and 5 players who vote to continue. We already know the outcome of her begging and can be sure that nobody will listen to her. But now we at least know that her words are addressed not to pink soldiers but to other players. We also can see that this voting happens after the maze game, as before that player 149 had her regular hairstyle, and after she lost her son her hair looked like a mess, her jacket disappeared and she looks broken. The maze game will be also the one where player 333's real personality will be revealed. In previous videos it was highlighted that he will switch teams and will wear a red vest instead of a blue one, but the real reason was revealed just in the trailer. In one scene, we see how he talks with player 222, motivating her to proceed in the game. But this moment does not happen before the maze game, and more about this just in a moment. Player 222 and player 333 most likely met each other in the maze. In this game, player 222 has to use her knife against someone in order to find the way out from the maze. But unexpectedly in the trailer, these two players are seen in different vests inside the game, which does not match the team color they appeared with at the beginning. That's why player 333 switches his team and wears the red vest, giving player 220 to the key and the blue vest. In this way, she won't need to kill anybody and will just need to find the way out. But this also means she stays unprotected. So most likely they will try to find the way out from the maze together, and player 333 will be the protector of his ex-girlfriend and his unborn child. Share in the comments if you expected such an action from player 333, and let's play a game. Write one theory about any highlighted detail in the comments. The next person has to reply with true or false and add one new theory about Season 3 events. Let's see whose theories get the most likes and true comments, and which will become a complete disaster. Switching the vests will become a popular trick inside the maze, as in one of the released photos we see player 007 wearing the red vest, despite the blue vest that he originally came into the maze. His glasses look broken, so it's easy to understand that he had a fight and defeated his opponent taking his red vest. We also see that player 333 will have to use the knife and kill someone in order to move on. The candidate for this moment can be player 203, who appears in the trailer. This theory is supported by player 333 being completely covered in blood inside the maze. Knowing Squid Game, we know for sure that players who violate the rules should be eliminated. Yet in the case of these two, the switching of vests won't influence them negatively, as we can see player 333 in the next scene, when he stands with other players on the platform prepared to play and jump rope. Here we also can see player 222. She sits on the bench feeling scared, as in her condition, jumping over the rope will be even more difficult. This is exactly the moment that captures the emotional scene of player 333 motivating player 222 to continue playing and get out alive. The background of the scene and players being in their regular form and not in the vest supports this theory. In the trailer, we also get a glimpse of other key players' future. Player 388 for sure appears all alone in Season 3. The scene where he is walking seriously while everyone else is in vests gives a glimpse of his loneliness this time. Then we see player 388 again, all alone, searching for the door that leads out of the maze. Even though he was together in the team with players 120 and 007, he is still alone in the maze. In the trailer, he opens one of the doors that leads to nowhere, showcasing how many floors and how difficult the maze is. We also see player 120 inside the game, who with high accuracy is checking the next corridor to be ready for the red player on the way. That red player appears to be player 226. In the next scene, we see how these two players have a fight. Despite defending herself, player 120 is also protecting other members of the blue team, who we can briefly see in the background during the fight. In another scene in the trailer, we get an answer to this fight, as player 120 opens the door that lights up with warm yellow light, which means that player 120 found the way out of the maze. The trailer also gives a glimpse of Min-soo, who despite being in the red team and having a knife, looks terrified. Thanks to the released photo, we already know that Min-soo will pass the maze and appear in the next game. Yet something inside the maze will completely change him, even to the point that he will vote to continue the game and will wear a blue badge. We get a glimpse of Soldier 11 and player 246, who have been together all this time. Many might miss it, but we see them in the scene with the opened elevator. Soldier 11 always had a mask with rectangle, which means she is a sniper. During the rebellion, she managed to hide player 246 in the sniper soldier suit. That explains why these two pink soldiers have blood stains on their masks. We also get a glimpse of player 246 in the released photos, about which just in a minute. The most shocking scene is waiting right at the end of the trailer, where we see Gi-hun walking along the corridor of Frontman's room in the solid suit. Exactly this type of suit was worn by all three finalists in Season 1, which means that Gi-hun is again the one who reached the final game. This moment also shows that this is his suit for the next game. It means the final game still takes place and the finalists will have to play it. The reason why Gi-hun appeared in the Frontman's room can be different. We can see only one pink soldier inside the elevator with Gi-hun. This soldier also stays in the elevator when Gi-hun leaves. This could mean that the Frontman doesn't need any protection from Gi-hun. Such a situation could happen if the games are finally ruined and there are no pink soldiers left to protect the Frontman. On the other hand, Gi-hun is weak. And despite the moment that he could find a way to hurt the Frontman is much stronger, and he specifically required privacy to talk with Gi-hun. What we know for sure, In-ho will expose his face, and we will finally find out his real story of taking part in the games and leading Squid Game. Share your versions regarding this scene in the comments. And let's finally dive into the amazing new released photos of Squid Game Season 3. The first photo makes us sure we will see the past and how In-ho became the winner of the Squid Game in his own time. Here he sits in the winner suit that has number 132, the same one he had in 2015 when he first entered the game and became a winner. Across from him is Oh Il-nam, sitting in his traditional gold all mask. This photo confirms that we will see a flashback of In-ho's past and dive deeper into the reasons he became the Frontman. Gi-hun becoming the finalist is confirmed in the next photo, where in a similar way to Season 1, we see Gi-hun sitting at a table full of food and wearing the traditional winning suit. Behind him, we can see the drawing of the newly revealed game, yet it's difficult to understand what exactly this game is about. Share in the comments if you believe that the final game will still be Squid Game. In the next photo, we see Soldier 11 and player 246, most likely right after the rebellion. This moment once again confirms that Soldier 11 will take player 246 under her protection. In the photos, we see player 149 appearing without her main jacket and only in a t-shirt. Knowing her sacrificing, mother-like nature, we can predict that she could have left this jacket for her son, player 007, or gave it to player 222 for carrying the baby. Be sure to share your versions in the comments. After covering many details from the trailer and the photos, one thing remains unclear. What is the additional rope for in the new game? Most likely, this rope is the one that starts the movement of the main rope, as in the scene where the main rope swings. We cannot already spot the additional rope near the doll. There are still a lot of things to reveal, and with every day new details will appear. So be sure to subscribe and watch the new released videos on the channel. Episode 1 of Season 3 is already premiering this month, so comment below how many days left till the premiere date since the day you're watching this video.